It starts now. Three, two, one.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us?
Putting a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Podcasts may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content. Topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit languages, or controversial subjects. Triggering content, including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues. Explicit language, occasionally, but never from me. Our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion if you find any topics, any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert. Thank you. Wait a minute. Let me get this off. This is new, as you can tell. There we go. Hi, guys. Let me turn the intro on and I'll be right back. Gosh, that was a big faux pas, but that's okay. That's okay. That's a new thing that we're doing. So if I have to multitask, I just get a little scattered. It's a Libra thing. Libras are not good multitaskers, by the way. When we have to multitask, we're like, what? Oh, no. Hello, Miss Sue, numerology, my friend. How are you? I have not, we're going to chat soon. Hi, Sue. Welcome. And Miss Linda, how are you? We were just chatting. And of course, Miss Lee is in the chat tonight. I hope everybody is having a phenomenal Monday night. Thanks for sharing, Linda. Welcome in, guys. We are streaming live on the R.I.F.T Nation Network on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, but I don't see Twitch up there, but I don't know. Could be something weird. We're in Mercury's shadow to go retrograde. So I'm just going to blame it on that. I know you shouldn't blame it on that, but I got to blame it on something, right? So I'm going to blame it on Mercury retro. Hello, Miss Karen. How are you? I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful Monday, beginning of the week. It's 75 degrees here. I have the windows open. Last week it was like 25. What is that? It's just weird. I don't know. but I'll take the 75. I'll take this all the time. So I hope if you can hear the birds, that's what it is. So if you're sitting in the cold weather or you're in snow, it's wonderful to have the windows open. But it'll be there soon. It'll be spring will be at your place soon, I promise. How was everybody's weekend? Good? Did everybody have a great weekend, I hope? I'm so glad to see you, Sue. I will say this about Sue. Sue is my friend. And if anybody is familiar or likes numerology, that is your gal right there. She is one of the, I mean, her brain clicks numerology. And I just love to watch her. I love to listen to her talk about numbers because I'm dyslexic. So my number sense is bad. It's not good. My numbers are bad. Even when I do charts, I have to be so careful with the numbers because they transpose. I transpose them. They don't transpose. My brain does it. But Sue is a phenomenal numerologist. We have to have Sue on for a show. Look, I'm inviting you on, Sue, one night. And it would be a fun night for you guys because she'll just start whipping like your birth date. Bam, 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 bam. And then she just goes into the whole numerology. And, just like astrology is numerology, everything's numbers. I think it all starts with numbers. I don't know if you all agree with that, but she is one phenomenal numerology. There you go, Miss Sue. She amazes me. We had the busiest, for those of us in true crime that follow true crime, as you all know, we had little Audrey that was found in the river. We went over that case. Then last week we had the disappearance of Madeline Soto down in Florida, Kissimmee, Florida. Now, little Madeline was indeed found, and we're going to go over her case next week. What's interesting about the comparisons of Audrey and Madeline are really pretty. The comparisons are a little weird to say the least. Both of the quote unquote alleged men that were in the mother's lives have subsequently been arrested. Both were around the same age. Both went to school, didn't show up at school. School did not notify the parents or the mothers until well after school had been released. Audrey didn't get off the bus, and Madeline's mother got the robocall that she was not in class that morning at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock that evening. So there were a lot of coincidences with these two assaults. Both of the girls, unfortunately, are not with us. Well, they are with us, but they were brutally assaulted. So I'm going to do a comparison on the charts. So far, I thought there's got to be something going on with all of these 911 calls, the Amber Alerts, and the assaults on these young women. What's going on? The only thing I can kind of find so far when I've jumped into this rabbit hole is Black Moon Lilith. Looks like Black Moon Lilith energy may be in play right now. And we've talked about Black Moon Lilith on Keith's show, and I have told people repeatedly this is a very primal, tribal energy. One of the, like in the ancient mothers, the ancient ancestral mother energies that is brutal. It's to be respected. It is to be treated with the utmost respect, this energy. It's not an energy that, oh, I relate to Black Moon Lilith. No, you don't. No, you don't. So that's the energy that's very prevalent in these charts. So I'm going to do like a comparison with Maddie and Audrey's chart. I haven't done the mapping to see if we would have found Maddie, because the timestamp is, if you've been following Madeline's case, I can't pin down a good timestamp for her. So that's going to be next week. So make sure and tune in. It's very interesting with these. God, it's just been a really horrific, hard week for true crime. So this week, our weekly true crime update, the Doulos trial update. As many of you may already know, Michelle Troconis was found guilty of all charges in the disappearance of Jennifer Doulos, conspiracy with Fotis Doulos. So she's looking at maybe possibly close to 50 years. Of course, they're gonna appeal it. I think she's got a good lawyer. We'll see what happens on that case. It's going to be interesting to watch that. But they hauled her away. The jury found her guilty. I kind of figured they were going to. It was an interesting trial. I got some really good timestamps off of that trial to map out where Jennifer, I'm going to work on that case. Also, let's see, the R.I.F.T movie set trial is still going on. To me, it's pretty boring. I'm not a big Hollywood type person, so I don't really know anything about movies or how they work or what the movie people do. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens with this R.I.F.T trial. It seems like there's more to this R.I.F.T accident than what meets the eye. At least that's what the defense is doing. So we also, I think those are the two things that are pretty much going on. I did find out some additional Harmony Montgomery. We've been following that case in the Revere Marshland in Boston. And I looked at the map that we did. It matched one of the experts that said, look in this area. I'm going to send him the map this week. So I'll let you guys know with what the expert, he does podcasts, and he looks at tidal pools and maps. He's a map guy. So I thought, oh, he's going to love the astrology mapping. So I'm going to send him this Harmony Montgomery information that we gleaned from the trial. Trials are very important when you do forensic astrology, because we get the timestamps. We get the accurate information. Again, we have to have, the more accurate the information is on the chart, the more accurate the mapping is. So let me show you guys. Let's get into this week, because I got a busy show tonight. And then after this show, Otter's Den with Keith, we're going to talk about the eclipse. We are officially in eclipse season. So please stay tuned at 8 o'clock for Keith's show, because we go over the eclipse. There are a couple days in, Linda has said this before, how I wish there was a way that astrology could give people a heads up that we could almost try to prevent a lot of these occurrences from happening. You know, it's energy. So I thought, oh, there's a couple days in March that we need to have a couple of heads up that we need to watch the energy. So I'm gonna start doing that and looking at it. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it like I usually do. I'm just gonna say, just be careful on this day. On Friday, I wanted to show you guys this. There was an Amber Alert. I don't know how many of y'all may have heard it at 2:46 p.m. last Friday in Ohio. Now, I hurried up and I did the chart very quickly, because, as you know, Amber Alerts, the faster we can get the information out there, the quicker it is that they can catch this person. What had happened is, mom pulled into the Dollar General, left the child in the back seat, and the truck, I believe it was a truck, was stolen with the child in the car. Now, everybody's going to say, why would you leave your car running? Or why was the car unlocked? Or why was well, I've been in this area. I was just actually in this area 2 weeks ago where this truck was stolen. It is rural. It's farmland. It's everybody trusts everybody. So I think I don't know what went on with the situation with the truck, probably more to the story than we know. But what's interesting is, I thought, the minute I get this map, I'm going to put the map on social media. I don't care. They've got to get to these children. Because by Friday, after Maddie, after Audrey, after Laken, after Elijah, after the little boy down in Tennessee, Sebastian, it was like, enough is enough. I'm just going to start putting stuff out there when I know it, especially with the 911 call. By the time I had finished the mapping, when I got off work, they had found the little boy. Guess where they found him? I'm going to show you guys. I'll blow this up. Let me see if I can blow this up anymore. And there's the chart. If you look at the red circle around the chart, let me get out of the picture. There. If you look at the red circle, look at where the map would have taken authorities. Not only did the mapping take them to where the little one would have been, it was right in that wedge is exactly where they found the child. So I thought, see, I'm going to, every time I hear an Amber Alert, I'm going to do this. And I'll just put the maps out and we'll just start sharing the maps. Let's just start sharing them on Amber Alerts. Maybe then they can get to them quickly. I don't know which line it would be, but it went right up to Akron. Probably Akron line because it was in the 9th house, 8th and 9th, which is longer distance of travel. So we know that they didn't stay in the neighborhood. It was a longer distance. So there we go. The astrology, when you have an accurate timestamp, the exact time that the 911 call went out, there we had them. It's a great tool. So this is, last week we had so many children with horrendous stories. And this story is not getting as much attention, I feel, that it should be. So let's share this out. Look up little Elijah Vu. He went missing on February 20th at 10:59 a.m. A 911 call came in. And I'm going to say this too. I watched the police that dealt with Audrey in Georgia, with Madeline in Florida. Kudos to law enforcement. Had law enforcement not acted as quickly and brought the community in to help, they wouldn't have found those two girls. Maddie, what had happened, they did a press release. They showed the vehicle. They gave out information. After the presser, somebody saw the perp's car. I saw that guy on such and such road. They went and found Maddie's remains. So I think it's imperative for law enforcement to learn. They almost shy away from social media and they're almost afraid of it. Don't be. You don't have to give out details of the investigation to ruin it. Give out times when the child was last seen so that people can check their Ring cameras. They're not even giving us information when Elijah was last seen. They found one of his little boots. They're not even confirming if it was his, although we pretty well know it was. So I think that law enforcement can give out enough information like they did in Florida, like they did in Georgia, without compromising an investigation. But the public in this area, the community wants to help so bad. Just give them some information that they can check their Ring cameras, that they can check while they're driving up and down the road and maybe they could find another shoe, a blanket, who knows? I think it's imperative for the police to learn. Social media is not going anywhere. When we get a hold of these cases, they do go viral. Some of them do, but I wish they all did. But little Elijah, and this takes place about 30 miles from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Now, this is an odd case. The police got on February 20th, 2024, the mother's partner, who lives approximately 3 hours away, called in the 911 call at 10:59 a.m. that Elijah was missing. He is 3 years old. It was cold. He didn't have a coat on. It was in the morning, he said. Now, the mother's I don't even want to call him by his name, partner, stated that the mother had dropped off Elijah to teach him some behavioral lessons because he was the disciplinarian in the relationship. He stated that he had gotten his 15-year-old son up for school. Elijah, he fed him breakfast, cereal. He fell asleep, woke up at 11, and Elijah was gone. Now, please remember this story has changed repeatedly. The story has changed. And this is the mother's other partner. And the mother up in the right, her name is Katrina. They have subsequently been arrested for child neglect allegations. Okay. They have not been, there have been no charges, due to little Elijah's disappearance. They aren't even telling if he was seen on a Ring camera in the community. The community is basically going out and searching on their own, but they don't know where to look because of the fact that in between mother and the significant other partner, there are 3 hours difference. The mother apparently stated she wasn't in the area at certain times. They matched the phone. She was indeed in the area, but we can't pinpoint a good timestamp. So I used, and I'm still not happy with the timestamp that I used. For some reason, I don't like this timestamp. I don't know why. It's a 911 call. Those are supposed to be the accurate times. I just don't feel that timestamp is any good with this map. But I'm going to share this map so that if somebody's in the area, they can check the Ring cameras. Check if you are from the Two Lakes area in Wisconsin down to, and I'll give you where she lives too. Look in your Ring cameras. Somebody's got to have camera footage of this guy maybe taking his son out to the bus. He's in an apartment. He stated he had fallen asleep. Katrina said she had brought Elijah to the partner for disciplinary reasons. Now, we do have 2 text messages on February 17th at 6:39, text between significant other and the mother. He stated that he had overloaded his diaper. He's 3. So he gave him a cold shower. He was clean, but scared. So this is the kind of behavior that this is what they were doing to little Elijah. So I did the chart. This shows a search 40 miles away in a landfill. Landfills are not fun to search. So this is the chart for baby Elijah. We can go through it and look at it, but for some reason, I'm just not happy with it. So if anybody that's keeping up with Elijah's case, if anybody has another timestamp I can use, if you all are watching any true crime shows this week and get a decent timestamp on Elijah, he allegedly was seen at a Napa car parts. If that's true, I don't know if it is. Maybe we can get that timestamp off of the camera. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a weird energy. Just don't like this timestamp, but I'm going to use it. You do, even though the astrology with forensic astrology is the charts never seem to be wrong when we use those. So let's use it. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So little Elijah over to the left with the green arrow. There he is. He is the moon. When any child is under 5 years old, we use the moon as the victim. So as you can see, I circled with the green arrow and pointed toward the moon. If you can look up to the 12th house where it's marked number 12, that's what is hidden. So we're going to look at Taurus. It's a wooded area. Jupiter could be a school, a church. Uranus is right next to Jupiter. that could be an airport or electrical wires, electrical towers. Number 9 in the 9th house, that is a major highway. It is a longer distance. I'm going to go out on a limb on this one, and I usually don't, but I think he's further away than the Two Rivers area, at least according to this particular timestamp at 10:59 with the 911 call. That 9th house refers to major highway. It's a major highway area. In a car, older man. And if we look at the 10th house, you all know that represents law enforcement. They're going to find Elijah. He's up at the top of the chart. He's going to be found. Whenever anything's up in that 10th house, law enforcement finds them, easily finds them. I mean, it's not where it's going to take a long time. They're going to find him. So I did 120 miles. Could be 140 miles, but I did 120 because the one number is 12, one is 14. So, but this will give us an idea of possibly where to look for little Elijah, because right now they're not going on anything. They have nothing. Law enforcement is zip, nothing, telling them nothing. Don't help search. From what I understand, don't help search. Pass out flyers. The community wants to help as much as they can. So as you can see, this is the map where little Elijah, the 911 call went. The moon is in Cancer. As you all remember, Audrey was Cancer as well, she was in the river. She was in the water. So I would check any of the water areas. This is from his apartment. You could check inside. I marked off some areas of interest on T. Anna Road, perhaps, if you look at that wedge in that wooded area. Remember the clues, too, near a big highway. That 147 interests me a lot because, A, it's a major highway, and B, there is the East Twin River in that area. I would look there off of around the Maplewood Road area. You don't have to go out and make a big, huge search. Just do a drive-by. See if anything's out of place. Anybody lives in that area, check your cameras. Check your cameras. Everybody has Ring cameras now. They could check on that Highway 147. Look at the gas stations in that area, This is such an excellent point. I didn't know that about Gracie, Linda. Let me pull this up because I think this is something that that can be changed. Linda states, why aren't the schools notifying about students sooner? Same with Gracie. So Gracie is Linda's granddaughter who was, brutally unalived as well. We're waiting on that trial. So we'll do like a little vigil on the Monday before that trial starts where we can all light our candles for Linda and her family. I don't know. I mean, these are things that together as communities, this can be changed. I know that in Maddie's community, they're already trying to implement change on getting the parents' notification sooner. These are our children. Audrey, Maddie, and now Linda's telling us it happened with Gracie. Why aren't they, when they don't get into homeroom, the parents need to be notified immediately? How tough is that? Back when we were younger, they took roll by handwriting. The teacher did it, took roll call, and they sent it to the office. And if we weren't in class, our mothers got called that morning. I don't see why that is such a big deal. They should be able to do it. I agree with you, Linda. That's where change can happen immediately. Okay, let's see where else. Okay, now what was interesting on this map, I wanted to show you all with little baby Elijah. On this map, as you can see, Two Rivers, Wisconsin is up to the right with the yellow pin. Mom lives down to the left by that blue pin. So one of the lines came very, very close. I thought it was interesting, to that major highway down by where Mom is from. Looks like Highway 90. Where that line goes, I would check that area. I know this is a needle in a haystack as well, but what are they going on now? Nothing. This beats check everywhere, especially with these charts. The accuracy of the charts, the mapping charts, you guys know them. And, it wouldn't hurt to check if you're in that area around 90, down by where Elijah's mother lived. Check in that area as well. It can't hurt. Check the cameras. Cameras tell us so much. And on Elijah's chart, Neptune is shown up in the house that law enforcement is represented. So maybe that could be a camera. It could be a video. There's video or camera evidence out there somewhere that somebody's missing, that maybe they don't know about Elijah. If they're 120 miles away down in that area down there, perhaps get some missing flyers down there. The child's grandmother, the child's biological father, is in prison. His family is very proactive in trying to find little Elijah. They have not seen Elijah since he was 6 months old, but the uncle is speaking, and they are out there with the searches. They're sending out flyers. They're doing whatever they can possibly do for this case. Okay, we've got some info from Renee, who is a teacher. Let's see what Renee says about the calls. Roll call is still taken, received, and checked with the office. After that, it's handed to the truancy person. Then after that, it's looked at the number of absences, and the child services is called if it's chronic. But when, Renee, do the parents call? When are the parents called that the child is not in class? Because Maddie didn't have any issues with school. Her mother did not get a robocall until, I believe, 5 or 6 that evening that her child was not in class. Audrey was never called either. Or I believe at 1 or 2 in the afternoon, I believe her father was called. So in the meantime, these people that are out throwing, discarding the children. So that gives a perp an awful lot of time to go around and cover up his tracks. So we'll talk about Maddie next week, but that's what happened with her. Although Maddie's alleged mother's boyfriend stated he accidentally did a factory reset on his cell phone, but that doesn't work. They got into his phone, found some disturbing evidence. And Linda says here it isn't till late afternoon. Late afternoon is too late. It's too late. Children are too precious. We've now lost 2 children. That I'm not saying it probably may not have made a difference, but what if? What if? When she was not at school at 8:30 in the morning, that gave this perp until 5 o'clock in the afternoon to dispose of her. Same thing with Audrey. Same thing. What if? What if the call would have come in at 9? Your child's not at school. Mom could have called 911 immediately. Maybe it will. I think change really needs to come. That's one area that people can take care of. Okay, so that's in Connecticut for Renee. That's in Connecticut. We had one was in Georgia, and the other one was in Florida. And the case with Maddie, they're going to look at it. They're already saying, yes, you're right. They used to call my mom. We couldn't get away with anything, nothing. Okay, so here is little Elijah's chart once again. Certainly share it. It's out for people to look at. Again, I would check all the areas where the lines go. If anybody gets a better timestamp, please let me know. Like I said, I'm not real crazy about this timestamp, and I've been watching this. So I just have to wait and see what goes on with little Elijah. Prayers are out that little Elijah is found safely, but it's been since the 20th. So you all know how these stories end up, unfortunately. But we'll just keep our fingers crossed on this. Okay, now the other thing I wanted to go over, and then we're going to break and go to Keith's. Oh, hi, Miss Tammy. Tammy said, sorry, late. Had to finish up with the dogs and the horses. Tammy's search and rescue. She's always with the animals. She's always with the animals. I wanted to go over this with you all just for some awareness. I'm sure you guys probably already know this, but there's a lot of awareness last week in the assault and attack on Laken Riley, which she was the nursing student down in Georgia who was out on a jog on the campus and was brutally attacked. And she was found a couple hours later on the campus. So her suspected attacker was denied bond and still remains in police custody. He has come across our border twice. He was deported once. He was caught up in New York for some child charges and was released. This gentleman was released from New York. He was deported once. He came across again, and now Laken is no longer with us. Her slide is last. But I wanted to show you some other girls, young women, that this has also occurred to. We've got little Kayla Hamilton on July 27th of 2022. 20-year-old Kayla Hamilton from Maryland was brutally assaulted by an MS-13 gang member from El Salvador who was not supposed to be here. She was raped and strangled on July 27th, 2022 in her home. Her mother has spoken to Congress. I have heard her mother speak. She's wonderful. And her mother has now filed a $100 million lawsuit, both to the Department of Homeland Security and Department of Health and Human Services, who failed her daughter by allowing the unidentified migrant into the country without confirming his identity. He had a mile-long record. So good for Kayla's mother. Good for Tammy Nobles. Wish her all the luck in the world. I'm going to keep an eye out on this case. Good for her. All of the mothers should do this. Exactly what Kayla's mother has done. Every one of these people should do the same. So there's Kayla. Beautiful young lady. Now, here we go again. This is 11-year-old Maria Gonzalez from California. She was strangled and assaulted in the Main Village Apartments in Pasadena. She lived with her father. The last text message that she gave to her father was someone was at the door. The perp illegally crossed into the U.S. earlier this year from Guatemala. He's been waiting for a court date, but allowed to stay here. And her father discovered this little angel when he got home from work. And here we go with our darling cheerleader from Texas, 16-year-old cheerleader, and Lisbeth Medina, 16 years of age. This monster was indicted, 23 years old, In the course of attempting to commit a burglary, robbery, or sexual assault, the grand jury indicted him. He again was not supposed to be here. Once again, arrested. How did he get arrested? Her boyfriend, her phone was stolen in the course of this assault. So Lisbeth's boyfriend tracked her phone and they found him with the phone. So there we go with that case. Not supposed to be here. So when is enough enough? When is enough enough? So now we've got Laken Riley from Georgia, and you all know this particular story. She was out jogging in Georgia. She was brutally attacked, and he has been arrested. She was buried this weekend. So, I think it's just there he is, monster. So that's just an awareness that I think we all need to spread the word. Many people need to get the word out. Enough is enough. When do we stop this? Our girls should be safe. So that's it for tonight. I wanted you all to check out. I do have my new website up. It's astrologymeetstruecrime.com. Probably this weekend, I'll start posting some cases on there. So if you do miss the show, I think I can post videos on there as well. I don't know. But please check out the new website and sign up. I'm going to start doing a subscribe to the website. I'm going to start doing a monthly newsletter in the beginning of the month about the astrology. So thank you all for that. astrologymeetstruecrime.com. So you guys, let's see. There we go with Harmony Montgomery. And next week, we will do the Maddie Soto and Audrey's event chart. And we're going to compare those two. I think it was Black Moon Lilith. So, and I agree with Renee. How many times is it going to take? It's good. We got to, people's eyes have to be opened up. We all have to start voicing and being loud. Enough is enough for these our young women deserve to be safe. Our young women deserve to be safe. Happy birthday, Miss Donna. How are you? I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful birthday. And everybody, thank you all so much for tuning in. Next week, I'll do the comparison. And tonight we have Sir Keith. And I'll go through the chat and say hi to everybody. And as everybody agrees, and I agree with Renee stated, how many is it going to take to open people's eyes? I don't know, Renee. One is enough. One is just enough. And hello, Miss Michelle. And please don't forget to subscribe, share, and like, you guys. And thank you all so much. And Kathy says it too. Everybody's just finished. We are. Everybody is. I agree with that, Kathy. So everybody, there's a lot to take in on this one night. I know there was a lot. So have a great week. And I will see everybody next week. We'll go over the other charts, and you're welcome to share out Elijah's chart, get people to start looking. And like I said, if you hear any kind of a good timestamp on little Elijah, give me a call and text me or PM me and let me know what y'all find. So with that, have a great week, everybody. And I hope the weather's nice like it is here. So have a great week.